Franklin died on what was California's death row at San Quentin State Prison, cause unknown, though there were no signs of trauma. With a moratorium on executions in California, it was unclear if the death sentence would ever have been carried out.
It's a relief to know that he's gone and that the victims' families that are still alive were able to see an end to that.
Prosecutor Beth Silverman tried the case against Franklin. She says she thinks it's unlikely he would ever reveal more information about how many other women he killed or what he did with their bodies.
And I'm fairly certain that Lonnie Franklin was going to take to the grave all of the information regarding the unprosecuted, unknown victims that we were never able to put together.
The series of murders began in the 1980s. The last confirmed case was in 2007. Franklin wasn't detected by police until DNA technology allowed a database search for relatives of the killer. Franklin was arrested in 2010. Police found photos and videos of 180 women inside his home. Most of those women have been identified, but dozens of them remain mysteries to this day.
David Franklin Jr., whose chilling moniker, the Grim Sleeper, still sends shivers down spines. Born on August 30, 1952, in south-central Los Angeles, Franklin appeared ordinary to his neighbors and colleagues. He married and had 2 children, concealing his malevolent desires beneath a facade of normalcy. However, his sinister side was unleashed under the cover of darkness. From 1984 to 2007, Franklin embarked on a reign of terror, targeting vulnerable African American women, many of whom were sex workers or drug addicts. He would lure them into his vehicle, subjecting them to unimaginable horrors before discarding their lifeless bodies in alleyways. What was particularly chilling was Franklin's ability to maintain a 14-year hiatus between his crimes, a grim period of dormancy that earned him his infamous moniker, the Grim Sleeper. The city of Los Angeles lived in fear as the body count rose, and the police struggled to apprehend the elusive killer. In the mid-1980s, the LAPD became aware of the South Side Slayer, as the killer was initially dubbed, responsible for the brutal murders of at least 13 sex workers between 1983 and 1985. It was only after public pressure and protests that the police formed a task force to investigate these murders. Yet, the case remained challenging, with conflicting evidence and descriptions pointing to the possibility of multiple serial killers at large. By 1987, the task force began to lose momentum, and the flow of clues dwindled. Over the years, it was revealed that multiple serial killers, including Louis Crane, Michael Hughes, Daniel Lee Siebert, Chester Turner, and Yvonne Hill, had committed some of these South Side Slayer murders, adding a layer of complexity to the case. Franklin's crimes remained unsolved until 2007 when DNA analysis linked him to at least 11 unsolved murders in Los Angeles, spanning from 1985 to 2007. The LAPD formed the task force, but their silence and failure to inform the community about the killer's existence were criticized. In secrecy, they launched the 800 Task Force to investigate the connection between the recent murder of Jane CIA Peters and the earlier unsolved murders. The silence of Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa and Police Chief William Joseph Bratton further fueled public outrage. In 2009, Bratton officially named the killer the Grim Sleeper, a nickname chosen by LA Weekly. The police released a 911 call from the 1980s in which a man reported seeing Franklin dumping a body, providing a crucial lead. Franklin's arrest finally came in 2010, thanks to familial DNA analysis that linked him to his son, Christopher Franklin, who had been convicted of a felony weapons charge in 2008. The investigation uncovered a trove of disturbing evidence in Franklin's possession, including over 1,000 photos and several hundred hours of video featuring mainly black women, some of whom were conscious, others unconscious, often nude. These images dated back 30 years, raising the possibility of more victims. Franklin was charged with 10 murders and 1 attempted murder, and his trial began in February 2016. It was a lengthy and harrowing process, with prosecutors presenting evidence relating to 4 additional victims who had been killed by Franklin but were only identified as such after his arrest. Ultimately, on May 5, 2016, the jury convicted Lonnie David Franklin Jr. of all counts. On June 6, 2016, he was sentenced to death for his heinous crimes. Franklin's dark legacy serves as a stark reminder of the persistence of evil hidden in plain sight and the tireless pursuit of justice that eventually brings it to light.